problem. Enjoy closed session. Thank
Always fun. Always fun.
Hey, Vera, I did add you as a co-host, so you should be able to see the attendees
Yeah, I can
or
see 'em.
participants.
Thanks.
Okay. Just let me know how you want to do that. Do you want me to let you move them in, or do you want us both to do it?
If you have a list too, we could do it at the same time. That way we can try to get them all in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'll open up the list and take a look at it.
Okay.
You may have to share, Andy, for her. I'm not sure. I'm gonna call her on the side.
And we're back.
But we're not needed for another 35 minutes.
I know. So we get a tiny break. You can eat. You could go to the restroom.
I think I'm gonna log out so I can charge my iPad. That way it won't go dead because I think it's at like 60% right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave and come back to this link at the time.
I'm going to step away myself right now.
See you guys.
Bye.
Did she have dinner? Did she eat? I'll feed her.
Hey, Mary, you may want to mute your mic. Mary, can you hear me? Mary Sneed?
Okay, I'll feed her when I come out.
Hey, Mary?
Did somebody just call me?
Yeah, I started too, but I was going to tell you to mute, and you muted right as I called.
Oh, sorry. Did you need me?
No, I could hear the dog barking and whatnot. I thought maybe you didn't want to broadcast. Anyway, see you in a bit.
Okay. Maria? Maria? Miss Gardner? Gardner? I remember when this one, oh, baby girl was that. That's a lot. Every- There's a big difference. I mean, he said, I don't know, you know, being her brother, or, or sympathetic to the sister. How, she's a good woman. How is that? I don't know.
She was like, oh, you guys hungry? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm like a little bit, like, you know, just small little things like that, um. I'm sick of here.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our board meeting. I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion to reconvene to open session. May I have a motion and a second, please?
I move.
Motion
to
from Member
reopen.
Sneed and a second from Member Espinoza, and this is a roll call vote. Member Sneed,
Yes.
Member Espinoza,
Yes.
Member Georgino,
Yes.
Member Lynn,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. So we are now back in open session. Just a quick announcement. Tonight's meeting is obviously being digitally recorded. And with that, we'll move on to the pledge, which will be led by Member Sneed tonight. Mary?
Okay. Please stand. Place right hand over your heart and ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I did it like a Boy Scout, I'd say two, and you can sit down.
Thank you. You did a great job.
Yeah.
With that, we're going to move on to announcements of action taken in closed session. I do have an announcement as soon as I can find it. There we go. Sorry. During closed session, the board voted to appoint Hannah Getty as the interim assistant superintendent of personnel services effective immediately. The vote was unanimous 5-0, and it was conducted by roll call. The terms and conditions of her appointment will be addressed in a contract to be presented for approval at the next regularly scheduled meeting on February 24th, and that will be considered during open session. Congratulations, Hannah. And with that, we're going to move on to a special recognition, starting first with the Temple City Council PTA Reflections Awards winner. And Maria Garner, as I understand it, you're going to be our MC for this. We've got quite an audience. Or is that a surprise to you?
No. I'm ready, Mr. Smith. Thank you for having us.
You're
Good
welcome.
evening, Board of Education members, Dr. Fricker, Ms. Getty, and congratulations, Ms. Getty, and everyone here tonight. On behalf of PTA, we want to thank you for the opportunity to present our Reflections program. The students are all very excited and appreciate the chance to be recognized and to be able to showcase their talents and creativity. And we are also very proud of all of our young budding artists. This year marks 52 years since National PTA started the Reflections program for students in 1969. So it's a long-standing program. Each year, over 300,000 students in pre-K through grade 12 create original works of art in response to a student-selected theme. This year's theme is I Matter Because. It has been said that Reflections increases community awareness of the importance of arts in education. The arts are critical to our students, especially during this time of uncertainty. Art is a form of self-expression and an outlet for many children and can take many forms such as drawing, painting, writing, dance, music, performance theater, and much more. Studies have shown that arts in education not only decrease feelings of anxiety and depression, but also improves all-around academic performance. And we here at Temple City Unified pride ourselves on the well-rounded student, and arts and education is an important component that helps to strive toward that goal. I just want to say that this program is very special and dear to me. I chaired it at Emperor for many years, and growing up in a large family with very little, it was actually art that really saved me. And as artists, it's sometimes hard to put yourself out there, so I commend all of these students and their art for their creativity and courage. Before we show a slide of our students' artwork, I want to thank all the Reflections chairs at each school site for their hard work and effort. Most, if not all, were very new to chairing Reflections this year, which was very challenging due to the distance learning. So everything was submitted digitally. I want to thank from La Rosa, Jenny Howe, from Emperor, Hong Yi Han, Jen Wheeler from Longden, Missy Augustine from Oak, and Temple City High School, Carol Wang. And of course, a huge thank you to Melanie McShane for chairing Council PTA's Reflections program. She had the difficult duty of navigating through this whole digital submissions and entry forms, and it was a challenge. And I cannot thank two amazing ladies for coordinating this presentation, Marie Montero and Ms. Hannah Getty. I owe you guys. And also a big shout out to Scott Sherman and Andy Harper. You guys are great and amazing. Thank you so much. And without further ado, I will introduce to you Melanie McShane, our Council PTA chairperson.
Thank you so much, Maria. As Maria said, this is a very special program. It has been going on for years. There was initially a very sad discussion. We didn't have a Reflections chair when we first started the year. And we learned that the program was going to be all digital, and it was very complicated. And there was a 37 step process in order to get the artwork from the student up to first district and spreadsheets. And it was a process. But this program is very special. And I think we are all grateful for the district for all of the support of the arts and the importance of just how critical arts are to our education and to the students. So I will be, am I going to be sharing my screen? If I can share my screen, I will. And we can, I will introduce, we're going to start with Emperor, and they will go through their students' artwork. So Hong Yi Han will present, and then Jen Say from Longden will be presenting their program. I will pick up for Oak, and Carolyn Wong will present for Temple City High School, and then we will finish it up with our council recognition. So hopefully that's showing up. And
Yes.
Hong Yi, do you want to take over?
Okay, sure. I'm not quite sure what's coming up, but we can go through this. Very proud of all of our participants. So in visual arts, we have our winners, Arston Zhang, Melanie Zhang, and Jeremy Yang, Award of Excellence. And this is Arston Zhang's.
Oops, sorry.
We can go through, they're going to show you the artwork that went along with each kid. Arston Zhang, his title was Protect Our Oceans.
Wow.
Next award of excellence is for Melanie Zhang, Bring Love to Our Animal Friends. The next award of excellence is for Jeremy Yang, I Matter Because. Okay, award of merit in visual arts, Abigail Lau and Faye Reed. This is Abigail Lau's The Painting of Mirrors. And award of merit went to Faye Reed. Her title was also I Matter Because. And for honorable mention in visual arts, third place, Sage Forster, Amelia Lau, and Lila Forster. Sage Forster, I Matter Because I Love. Amelia Lau, Elements. And Lila Forster, Me Through God's Eyes. And we had an award of excellence in literature. It's a poem about me by Madeline Reed. And congratulations to all the Emperor students who participated.
And I'm just going to jump in here for 1 second, just to remind you that we do have several categories that the students can submit. As you saw, we had visual arts and literature. In addition, you will see, unfortunately you won't hear, but you will see music composition, photography, literature, visual arts, and visual arts encompasses a lot of different mediums. It can be paintings, drawings. We've had ceramics submitted in the past, but anything that can be considered visual arts, film production, and also dance choreography. So you will see, we do have a short dance choreography video, I believe, in our next presentation. So Jen, would you like to go through the Longden presentation?
Sure, I'm ready. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Say, the president of Longden PTA. I'm presenting here for Jen Wheeler, our reflections chair. So go ahead, Melanie. This first is So I'll just let you watch. Prathana Girish is a second grader at Longden, and she's actually submitted 3 entries that you will see. Here's her second entry for literature. And then we have Shmira Shriram from 5th grade, her literature entry. And Jake Huo, 2nd grade, his poem about fall. And Shmira is back again with performance art. Then we have artwork by Courtney Soy from 4th grade. Artwork by Julia Soy, Courtney's sister, in 1st grade. And another entry from Prathana Girish, 2nd grade. 2 submissions by Jake in 2nd. And last, Chinese Harp by Ellie Lamb.
There we
She was going to play us out.
go. Very nice.
And thank you to our local San Gabriel Valley judges, Ann, Jay, and Donna. And that is it. Thank you, Tigers, for your submissions.
Thank you so much, Jen. And next,
Can I interject for just a second?
absolutely.
Can we call in the students from La Rosa? I'm sorry, Andy, can we have them come on? That way we can see some of the students. We forgot, or I thought that they were on back at Emperor and Longden, but can we get them on?
Let me know when to start.
Sorry, I don't see
There was
them.
only one student from Longden that was in the waiting room.
Are there any from La Rosa?
There was only La Rosa. Let me check. Hold on.
I see Maddie and Faye Reed.
Yes, Victoria Wang should be in the
Okay, and I see the Forsters. Hi, Lila. Hi, Sage.
those are the only ones that showed up.
Okay. Okay, you can continue, Melanie. Sorry, thank you.
Okay, so unfortunately, Jeannie Ho from La Rosa was not able to join us this evening, so I will go through and display the students' art from La Rosa. We have an award of excellence in literature by Jeffrey Ho. Our future, our hope. Visual art award of excellence by Carson Sia. Another award of merit in visual arts by Victoria Wang. An honorable mention in visual arts. And I can't see the name.
Does it say Jael Escalante?
Sorry, I can't see it.
Yes. Yes,
Thank
that's
you.
what it's Rael Escalante.
Looks like Jeffrey Ho did a second submission in photography, the Rubik's Cube. And with the submissions, each of the students writes a short summary of their art. So you'll see here that some people did include that summary that the students included. We also have a film production by Jeffrey. Future Filmmakers of America.
Yeah.
That summer. And those are our submissions from La Rosa.
Yay.
Missy Augustine, who was our reflections chair from Oak Avenue, was unfortunately not able to join us. She had another meeting, so I will step in. I am the current PTA president of Oak and was very proud that we had some submissions this year. And again, my screen is blocking.
Carissa Zhang.
Carissa Zhang, Visual Arts Award of Merit. Thank you.
Deanna
Issa,
Chen.
Visual Arts.
Melanie, can you go back one? I think
Oh, did I skip one?
right
Oh,
there.
yep.
Literature.
Deanne Chang, Literature. Issa Wu for Visual Arts.
Wow.
And Ella Shen with her beautiful music. And Gio Augustine for photography. And Carolyn, can I ask you to cover the high school?
Sure, thank you. Hi, everybody. So I'm Carolyn Wong, and I was the chair this year for the high school students. If you can start, thank you. So for literature, we had 2 submissions, and the award of merit went to Rashita Nakshatri, and her literature was a poem, Believe in Yourself. The award of excellence went to Brittany Lee, and she wrote an essay on hitting rock bottom. The 2 literature entries actually scored exactly the same scores with 6 judges. However, we chose Brittany to be the award of excellence winner just because the submission that she had for her, the description of why she mattered had scored just a little bit higher. Music composition, we have the award of excellence went to Evan Huang, and his music was titled Limitless.
Are we able to play this?
It should play if you click on it.
So just to give a little background on the music composition portion of the Reflections program, the kids have to compose their own. When you saw that music sheet, they compose their own music and score, and then they play whatever instrument that they want to play. So it's amazing.
Yes, it is. Okay.
In photography, we have participant Quinny Lin. She entered this photo of a walk in the neighborhood. Our next participant is Dante Augustine, and he titled his photo Desert Sunset. Here's an honorable mention. It's by Serena Chan, and it's titled Speak Up. The award of merit goes to Evan Wang, and he titled his The Sky's My Limit. The award of excellence went to Audrey Lee. She titled this Circle of Life. Visual arts participant, Quinny Lin. This is a drawing called Sharing a Book. Our next participant is Shreya Sriram. She titled this Generations. And this is a natural painting. Participant in visual arts is Luga Augustine. He titled this Majestic Mountains. Honorable mention goes to Serena Chan. Her work is titled Silence. And this is the award of merit. It goes to Gianna Ouyang, and she called hers I Matter Because. The award of excellence goes to Phoenix He, and this is titled Reflection of a New Beginning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Carolyn.
Thank you. That was really very, very nice. Not only the kids' work exceptional, but also whoever put that slideshow together deserves a big pat on the back. Very nicely done, captured brilliantly all the colors and everything.
We
So
have
thank you very much.
one additional presentation, which is our council winners.
Sorry.
Sorry, no problem at all. And is that displayed?
Not yet.
We just want to announce the council winners. I don't think the children, the students know who placed at the council level.
Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, so this is, so basically the way, so you have just seen the different schools presented differently, but the participants, you also saw honorable mentions, you also saw award of merit and award of excellence. And what happens is all of the submissions that come in to first place or are given the award of merit are passed to the next level. So for each of the school sites, all of their award of excellence winners are passed up to Temple City Council PTA. And then once we have a judging, those submissions are passed on to First District PTA. Any students that hit the highest level at First District PTA are passed on to the state, and state winners are passed on to national. So I'll quickly go through. This does not have the artwork because you've seen all of it. This just does have our winners. So we did award an award of excellence to Prarthana Girish for dance choreography. And we also have different grade levels. So this is primary. Smira Sriram received an award of excellence for her film production. In literature, we had winners at all of the different levels. Prarthana Girish, Madeline Reed, Deanna Chan, and Brittany Lee. In music composition, the award of excellence that we had was Ellie Lamb, Ella Shen, and Evan Wang. For photography, the award of excellence winners were Gio Augustine and Pei Ying Lee. And for visual arts, the award of excellence went to Ariston Zhang, Courtney Soy, Jeremy Yang, and Phoenix He. The award of merit winners were Smira Sriram, Melanie Zhang, Chloe Tong, and Julia Soy. And First District award winners, outstanding interpretation. These are the winners that will be passed from First District on to California State. So music composition by Ellie Lamb and visual arts from the high school Phoenix He. And First District also awarded awards to Prarthana Girish for her literature submission, to Ella Shen for her music composition, and to Pei Ying Lee for his photography submission. So we are so grateful for all of the students that participated. We're very grateful for all of the artwork, and we're very grateful that you allowed us to come and share all of this work with you.
Thank you very much. That was really nice. Like I said earlier, I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's Maria or Melanie, but could we get a copy of that presentation and have it posted on the district website? I see Marie saying she has.
Sure. Yeah, I think we can do that. We can accommodate that. Sure.
Really, you know, this is another case where we're adapting because of the pandemic, and Zoom has proved to be a really great medium to present this. So thank you for doing that. And it came out wonderful.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have a couple more presentations, one on Black History and one on the Lunar New Year. And Sandy Dusong, who is our new program specialist for equity and outreach, is going to make those presentations for us. So Sandy, you're up. You're muted too. Sandy, you're muted.
Good evening, everyone. One moment until I could get my technical difficulties here. Let me see. I think I might need some help. And Andy, can you please help me?
Yes, you just need to share your screen.
Okay.
So when you click share screen, Sandy, then you should be able to click the box, and there you go.
It's in the bottom if you highlight, hover.
Right, so let me go ahead. Is that up?
Nope.
Ooh.
After you select your screen, you need to click share one more time.
Okay, so here Here. And it says open system preference.
Sandy, do you want to email it to me really quick and I can share it for you while you go?
Absolutely. How about Andy? You also have a copy? Andy, are you there? My sincere apologies, everyone.
It's quite all right.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and congratulations, Miss Getty. And watching the reflection on all of the children made me reminisce a little bit about my reflection moments as a principal at Lomita Magnet. Good evening, Superintendent Fricker and distinguished Temple Unified School District board members. My name is Sandy Dusong, and I am the new Program Specialist, Equity and Outreach. It is my pleasure to be with you tonight. I am so happy to be a part of the Temple City school family and to be surrounded by like-minded, intelligent leaders who want to break down the walls of inequity and start the conversation of equity and access for all students in every school. Some might believe, yes.
Are we supposed to be seeing the presentation right now?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Want to make sure.
Like I said, some folks might believe that diversity is what causes division. But when you really think about it, diversity is the only common denominator amongst us all. We are all different, aren't we? I believe there is strength in diversity. I believe there is unity in our differences. The conversation of equity, access, and inclusion for all students at every site, it's a difficult topic of discussion, but it's one that we must put at the forefront of our conversation. It's one that we cannot ignore. One that requires us to think outside of the box, step boldly into out of our comfort zone. Thank you so much. And think positively and to accentuate what we have to support all learners. Why? Because our future of our students depend on it. The road ahead for us at TCUSD, it's bright. We have some incredible traditions that we need to keep and some that we really need to begin to understand and unpack. Why is that? Because the future of our students, as I have shared, depends on it. Our school, our students are amazing students, and our talented, hardworking teachers, and most importantly, our courageous leaders are willing to do the work. They are willing to roll up their sleeve and try to figure it out. And that is why I'm so excited to be here. It will require hard work, but I think we're up for the challenge. It will demand resiliency. It will demand us to never give up until we find a way so that every child, every day, at every school learns at the highest instructional rigor. And you know what? It's going to be worth it, because I know at the heart of every educator is that one child who will impact the future. Who knows? Maybe the next Obama will be sitting next to us. Maybe the next Sonia Sotomayor will be wanting your attention. Or maybe Pan Ki-moon is there wanting for you to disaggregate so that they might be able to understand and to achieve. And that's what makes me so happy to be here at Temple City. And that's why I am so ready to roll up my sleeve and do whatever needs to be done so that our children get the most rigorous instructional program, so that they will be successful independently and interdependently to enter a global society. So thank you so much, Temple City, for inviting me to your family. At this note, I'm going to ask Ms. Getty, who We're gonna team T. Okay, very good. I have the distinct honor of recognizing some diversity in action in our schools already. I mean, these are recognizable, and I do want to let you know I've only been here for a week and a half, so I hope that in the days to come when I present, there'll be more artifacts for me to share. So in February, it's a great time for us to celebrate, recognize, and appreciate diversity in our own staff, in our own schools. So first is African American recognition through Black History Month. And then the next is the Lunar New Year. I'm not quite sure if you know about Gong Hei Fao Chow. And February 12th would be the year that we celebrate the Lunar New Year. And of course, how can we forget? I am an immigrant myself. Being in the United States gave me that opportunity. And I really appreciate all the opportunities that America has given to us. And in that way, we celebrate the President's Day. And so right now, I'm pretty sure, being that we are all virtual, you might really want to see what our spectacular staff are doing already around different schools. I want to tell you, pandemic has hit us hard. And it's not the most optimum situation. But I want to tell you the teachers at TCUSD and the principals are using everything in their power: Canvas, Nearpod. And we want to let you know everything that Ms. Getty and the district is giving them as training. They're really gravitating. And so these are platforms that we never thought we would teach in this format, and for so long. They are doing their absolute best. We have teachers and principals and PTA members posting different sites and videos and books, and even a principal who's reading a diversity-focused book every single day to our students. That should really make you really proud, right? Next slide, please. And how about at Longden Elementary School? Take a look at this. How awesome. They have a diverse focus art assembly that is designed to be culturally responsive, to honor, just recently, Martin Luther King, one of my heroes, in the Black History Month. And the theme of their assembly, my goodness, African American art. And in the coming days, Lunar New Year. Jan Atkins at Longden Elementary, our art teacher, does an excellent job to emphasize a cultural diversity that exists in their family. And look at the rigor and the beauty of the art that she produced. And I know that it's matched with rigorous instruction that will support every child. Next slide, please. And how about the library and the librarians? Woohoo for them. Wow, this is a hard task to do. I want to tell you, when I was in the principal position, this was really a big task to do, to really make sure that every title in the library has inventory where children can see themselves in books. Wow. How is that for a wow, woohoo, for all the librarians at Temple City Unified School District? Great job. And then it's going to rock your world a little bit, because they've already begun the talk. The staff at Dr. Sears Learning Center, Dr. Doug Sears Learning Center, have decided to organically develop a book club amongst their staff. The topic or the book for this conversation is about stamped racism, anti-racism, and you. I want to tell you, intrinsic or extrinsic biases are very difficult conversations. But look at them. They've already decided to take that march forward. Diversity is one true thing we all have in common. So let's celebrate it every single day. And that is my hope in this amazing district, to accentuate those things, the traditional things that we need to keep, and maybe challenge a few that we really need to think through again. So once again, I look forward to meeting you in person one day very soon. Thank you so much for inviting me to the Temple City Unified School District family.
Thank you, Sandy. We'll look forward to all the great work I know you're going to be doing for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, with that, we're going to move on to item 11 on our agenda, which is public comment. And I haven't received any, and I see Marie shaking her head, so no public comments tonight. And so with that, we'll move on to item 12, which is a community update. And I have a few things that people have asked me to share. So I'll start by, this is from the city of Temple City. It says, please join the city of Temple City as they ring in the Lunar New Year, which is the year of the ox, with a virtual celebration. This is a partnership between the city and the Temple City Chinese American Association to present a series of traditional Lunar New Year performances, followed by dragon and lion dances. The virtual celebration, educational insight on the performances, and messages from the community and your very own Temple City Unified School District Board of Education. The Lunar New Year celebration will premiere on Saturday, February 13th. That's this Saturday at noon. And the link can be found on the city's website, which is www.templecity.us/LNY, which is the initials for Lunar New Year. From Melissa Espinoza, she asked me to share that there is a Temple City School Performing Arts Dine Out on next Tuesday, the 16th, at the Panda Innovative Kitchen in Hastings Ranch, which will run all day from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And online orders count with order code 321654. All proceeds will go to the Performing Arts Program, and the Panda Inn is behind the CVS on the corner of Michelinda and Foothill. At Temple City High School, a shout out to Celine Tsai, who some of us got a chance to meet earlier tonight at the ASB meeting. She just finished completing the 35th Stanford National Speech and Debate Tournament. There were 398 schools and over 2,600 competitors from all over the country. Some people even came from Taiwan. After competing for 2 days and a total of 6 rounds, she was the finalist and placed 5th in the Southern California tournament last week. Anyway, congratulations go to her. And then from Donna, an update on the Camellia Festival activities. The coronation of the 77th Royal Court will be broadcast on the city's YouTube channel on Saturday, February 13 at 7 p.m. We have 4 students in the Royal Court, Sabrina from Longden, Evie from La Rosa, Gavin from Longden, and Jackson from Emperor. The deadline for submitting photos of everyday heroes to the Camellia Festival is February 17th. So that's a week from today. The photos will be featured on the Camellia Festival Facebook page and website between February 22nd and February 26th. Also, the float contest will be broadcast in the city's YouTube channel on Saturday, February 27th at 9 a.m. And the virtual parade will be broadcast on the city's YouTube channel on Saturday, February 27th at 10 a.m. The parade will feature some performance by the performing arts groups at Temple City High School. So a chance for us to see some of our students highlighted. Let's see. With that, we are on to district updates, and we'll start first with business services. Marianne Sorrell. Marianne, what do you have for us?
Good evening. I'd like to give you an update on the La Rosa Environmental Project. You may recall that the wooden housing around the blinds in the classrooms were removed and sent to a lab for testing. Those housing units were rebuilt to seal off the space between that's above the ceiling and the classroom. The district was informed by forensic analytical that no mold was found on any of the materials removed from the classroom. They are preparing a final report for the district, which should be ready by sometime early next week. And once we have that, we'll schedule a meeting with the La Rosa site staff to review the results and do a review of the overall project. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. With that, we'll move on to educational services. Dr. Mercedes Gomez. Mercedes, what do you have?
Good evening, everyone. So I'll begin with special education. Dr. Kataroyan and her team have been working on providing follow-up training for our instructional aides to review best practices and tools to support their students. And they've also begun planning to resume in-person services and assessments, hopefully later this month, assuming numbers continue to decline as they have been. In curriculum and instruction, we have officially begun our summative LPAC testing. Our EL coordinators have at the sites have completed their training and started administering the LPAC test remotely, which is proving to be a bit of a challenge, but we are plugging along. It's definitely a new adventure for all of us, and we're all learning together from each other. We're also happy to bring forward for your consideration a proposal from the high school to add a new class in their world language offerings, and you'll hear more details about that later on when Mr. Lohman and Ms. Cruz present.
Is that concluded?
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mercedes. And then the last two departments are personnel services and student services and technology. Both will be presented by our new interim assistant superintendent of personnel services, Hannah Getty. Hannah?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to give a shout out to our 3 women in HR department and personnel services working very hard. We're cleaning up many leaves and things that have happened just as a result of the pandemic. And I'm really appreciative to them as I come into a new department. They have kept me up to speed and we are working well together, like almost like a well-oiled machine. So I'm very grateful to them. Along those lines, we were able to start our CPS salary study. We're so excited to be able to move forward with that. We know that our CSEA members will be excited also to take part in that. So we are kicking off committee meetings in about a week or so. So we're looking forward to that. Continue to just clean up systems. We're very excited to get online with our Helios system. We're hoping when we start our hiring season, which is coming up here very soon, that we will be able to do all of our onboarding electronically and be able to give our new employees a good package when they start and a welcome that is so deserved to our great district. So we are excited to start that. We also have a lot of leaves that are coming up here towards the end. And while leaves tend to not be something that we're all excited about, these are very, very celebratory. We have several maternity leaves that are coming up. So we're very excited for many of our families here at TCUSD. Many people are going out here just towards the end of the year. So we're going to be looking to get some good substitute replacements for these amazing teachers that will be missing for just a couple months. So we're excited for them. Student services, as we look, I have to say I got an amazing call last week from Dr. John Wu, just from Asian Pacific Family Center. They have been experiencing and working with the community and experiencing a lot of grief counseling and loss that's occurring during COVID, as well as some of our ASB members have shared with us, just the difficulty of the isolation of the pandemic. So he's going to be working with not only our staff members, but also our parent group, and then eventually our student group to do some wellness presentations and training to help everybody. So we're looking forward to that and happy to partner with him. And then I wanted to also give a quick shout out to Ms. Gina Camperi, who's doing our CalPATS reporting. Those are the things that aren't fun in education. Those are the backside of all the stuff that we do that has to be in compliance, and it's very difficult and changes every year and changes at the last minute. And she does such a good job to stay on top of that and keep us all informed and make sure that we're reporting our data correctly. So she's ending her Fall 2 report, which is a very major report, and that is coming up in March 5th. So she's been working hard on that. And then lastly, as we move to technology, I'd like to give a shout out to Andy Harper and his team. We've been working on our virtual phones. I know it seems we wish we could have gotten them started sooner. It's a software situation with our phones and upgrading, but what we're able to offer our staff very soon, where they can use their cell phones to call and it'll show the school number. So that way people aren't getting their personal cell phone number, but also our families know it's a safe call to pick up because it's from the school. So that should be up and running here in a few weeks. We're very much looking forward to that. And then lastly, the high school did an awesome job. Our high school counselors did course requests through Aries, which I believe this is our first year doing that. So we're able to use our student information system with the help of our new coordinator of data, Carrie Smith, at the district office, along with all of our counseling staff at the high school. And so far it's working really well. And our new incoming freshmen are already selecting their courses for next year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Hannah. Okay, so with that, we're moving on to item 14, bargaining unit comments. We'll start first with TCEA and Kyla Yurtstadt. Kyla, what do you have for us?
Nothing tonight. Thank you guys and have a good night.
Thank you. That was easy. And CSEA 105, I see Robin. Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to Hannah. I can't wait to become better friends. We'll be talking even more often now.
Okay, thank you, Robin.
Congrats.
And then I thought I saw Art on here, Art Torres from CSEA 105.
You got it wrong, Matt. It's
Oh.
Contreras.
Oh, I'm sorry.
823.
What did I say? I knew that.
Good evening, everybody. I don't have nothing right now, I just want to congratulate Hannah. Looking forward to working with her in the upcoming future. We have been doing a lot of work together recently, and I think we've built a pretty good rapport with each other. So I'm really looking forward to moving on and doing some work and getting things done and taking care of business within the district. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Art. Okay, with that, we're moving on to item 15, board member comments, and we'll start with Donna Georgina tonight. Donna, what do you have for us? You're muted. You're muted.
Where's your coffee cup, Matt?
Have a bottle of water.
Since our last board meeting, I watched the advanced drama students at Temple City High School perform War of the Worlds. And actually there was 2 different sets of students. So they had 2 performances of it. It was excellent. I really enjoyed it. I was very impressed at how they use this Zoom platform to do a drama presentation, and it was very good. So thank you to them for doing that, and congratulations. Also, along with Matt, we had our committee meeting with the city of Temple City. And I'm just very happy to see how we're developing a very collaborative working relationship with the city of Temple City. I know that was one of my goals when I got elected to the board, is I wanted to improve our relationship with the city so that it would benefit our students and our community. And I really think we're moving in that direction. When they were giving their report, they were talking about some of the recreation activities that they were doing, and all the support that they got from the school district to help them do it. They had assistance from the school in getting acts for Temple City's Got Talent. They had our robotics club at Temple City High School help do activities for a camp that they did for kids. And it was really great. And then they said to us, you know, we know that opening school is going to be very difficult. If there's anything we can do to help you, just let us know. And I think that's the kind of relationship we want to have with the city, where we're mutually working together to help our community. So I was really happy to see that. And we're going to be meeting next in April, I believe.
That's correct.
Also, I wanted to thank PTA for the Reflections program. It was great. And also I want to thank them for everything that they do. I think they're one of the reasons our schools are as good as they are, because we have such great PTA programs and great support from our families. And finally, I wanted to give a plug to the Temple City Historical Society. Here in Temple City, the Historical Society is the main source of keeping track of the history of not just the city of Temple City, but even the schools. That's the one place where the public can go and see every yearbook that Temple City High School has ever put out. And there's other school memorabilia there also. Right now, the museum is closed and it's going under a renovation, and our very own Mary Sneed is in charge of that, so she can probably talk more about it. But I just wanted to point out how important the museum is to not just the community, but to our schools. And I want to encourage everybody to become a member of the Historical Society if you aren't already. It's only $25 a year. And when the new museum opens, it's going to be a great resource for our teachers and our students. So I will make sure that everyone has access to an application, and I please encourage you to fill it out and send it in. That's all I have, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you. With that, we'll move on to Melissa Espinoza. Melissa, what do you have for us?
Good evening, everybody. In terms of from our last meeting, I attended the Brown Act training on January 29th, the PTA council meeting, and the Founders Day planning meeting. So we're looking forward to that presentation. I also saw the War of the Worlds, and that was fantastic. Just so creative, and the ability to have the kids act and interact with one another in a drama but all remote. It was pretty creative and really great. I want to thank Hannah Getty for sending out that parent square regarding mental health matters and sharing the information about Care Solace, a mental health resource available to all TCUSD staff, parents, and students, regardless of insurance. I really appreciate that. I know even just talking to the high school kids earlier this evening, and just it's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of just feelings out there that need to be worked out, and having the resources available is wonderful. I want to welcome Ms. DeSong. Thank you so much for your exuberance, and I want to, I really am happy to see recognition and celebration of Black History Month and Lunar New Year. I think learning and celebrating the history of different cultures and things that are important to them that they recognize is key in creating inclusion and seeing the beauty and the importance of diversity in our world. So thank you so much. I look forward to your future presentations. I am also looking forward to tomorrow's La Rosa's TED Ed event, and I'm excited to see the kids speak. And in closing, I'm just wishing everyone in our community a happy and safe Lunar New Year. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Melissa. And with that, we'll move on to Mary Sneed. Mary, what do you got for us?
Okay. Also happy Black History Month and happy Lunar New Year. I think one of the wonderful things about our district is that we are so culturally diverse, and I'm glad that we celebrate the diversity in our district, because I think the diversity that we have is what makes our district the special district that it is, because we are so diverse. So all those who are celebrating Lunar New Year on Friday, I hope they have wish you a year filled with lots of luck. I want to thank the high school ASB officers and their advisor, Michael Kidd. We met with them earlier this evening in a joint meeting. They've always shown, we always knew that we had great students, but these students just showed such wonderful leadership skills. And these students were they kind of blew us away with what they were talking about. We didn't quite understand what they were. Some of the things that they have created, we kind of went over our heads, but they were just astounding how they're getting the high school students involved, and so many different activities and clubs, and just trying to keep contact with the students at the high school. So they did a great job. I Zoom attended the New Trustee Institute last week. All the trainers did a great job bringing all of us new trustees up to speed in training in governance and student learning, human resources, and school finance. One of the benefits of having all these trainings being done on Zoom is that we're able to network with board members across the state. And they're facing the same challenges we are, especially in relation to COVID and trying to reopen. And I'm looking forward to starting my master's in governance training beginning of next month. Do my first one, I think the first weekend in March. I enjoyed both casts of the War of the Worlds. It was just amazing, amazing production on with both groups. And I'm looking forward to the TED Ed present showcase from La Rosa tomorrow night and hearing what their students have to say. Donna touched on some of the things, and Matt touched on some of the things in the Camellia Festival. As the float chairman, I encourage families to work together and build a mini float. You can actually win wonderful trophies, and you can win money. If that's an incentive for you, build a mini float. Just make sure you submit it by next Tuesday with your video. But we'd love to see what the families have created. And then the virtual Camellia Parade will be the weekend of the 27th. With the floats, actually, people can vote for the People's Choice, and we'll award that later the following week. Donna did mention that Donna and I are both board members for the Historical Society, and I'm also the museum director. I had that unique privilege put on my shoulders last year, and I'm really excited about it because having been a fourth grade teacher, I'm kind of a history geek, and fourth grade you get to teach California history, so I'm really thrilled that I get to be working with the museum. And what we're trying to do with the museum is we're going to make it more interactive. We're moving some of the things around. We're going to have more interactive displays in there, and hopefully it'll be a place that our local schools will bring the kids for field trips. It'll be actually a site that families will want to come and classes will want to come to visit our museum. So we encourage you, if you feel you really, we'll get you that application, and we invite everybody to join the Historical Society and support their work. They've been hit very hard this year because of COVID. Their usual source of income is renting out the hall. That has gone to the wayside. They haven't been able to do that in almost a year now. So things are tight, but we appreciate anybody who will join the Historical Society and help support the work that they do. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Mary. I guess I'll go next. Most of the items I have down have probably been touched upon by others. I was scribbling during commercial breaks, watching the impeachment proceedings today, so there's no real good order to what I have here. But like Donna and Dr. Fricker and Mary Ann Sorrell, I attended the city school district ad hoc committee meeting on the 28th, and I was also very pleased with the discussions we had, and it's really nice to be able to sit down with them and just work together. So, and the joke about the mugs is all the city people had mugs that said mute, had a sign on it that said mute. So when somebody was talking, they just held up their mugs and they know how to unmute. Let's see, I'm very pleased. Thank you very much for the presentation, Sandy. I enjoyed it. The enthusiasm, man, if we can bottle that up somewhere and pour it out somewhere else, it'd be great. I appreciate the enthusiasm. I know you'll do a great job, and I was pleased to hear about your thoughts and whatnot on the Black History Month and the Lunar New Year. So thank you for that. We had at 5 o'clock today, we had a joint meeting with the ASB from the high school, and that was already touched upon, but just real good enthusiasm, and was very pleased to see everyone so excited. Let's see. So last meeting, we approved a resolution recognizing the week of February 1st to the 5th as School Counselor Week. And it went by, and I didn't think to send out a message to our school counselors. It's a little late now, but thank you very much for all that you do for our schools and our students. It's very much appreciated. Can't say enough about the job you guys do. Thank you. I am also looking forward to attending the TED Ed Club Showcase tomorrow night. It's at 5 o'clock. And I've been to several in the past. They're always really good, and the kids are cute, and they do a great job, and I'm very impressed with the work that goes on there. I also want to thank Maria Garner, who not only did the PTA reflections, and I appreciate all that, but she's also on the Personnel Commission for the district, along with Gina Aparicio and Ann Seitz. And she sent us an email in the last week or two about, here we go, a Merit Academy, which is some training for the personnel commissioners. And it looks like about 8 or 10 different things spread out over a couple months, several hours each. And I've been on the board for a while, if you ignore my 5 years of vacation in there somewhere. But I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a Merit Academy for the personnel commissioners. And I looked at the agenda and the topics, and I thought that's really great. So I don't know if that's something new, but I'm just very pleased to see it. And then I think that's it for me. So I'm going to move on to Dr. Mike. Oh, whoa. So hold on. One more thing. I meant to share this last time. I don't want to embarrass Mike at all, but he was very generous and very nice to me and passed along a new gift over the holidays so that I can put to good use when we all get back together again. So thank you very much. It's very nice. Okay, Mike, you're up. What's up?
Hey, thank you, President Smith. I'm glad that you enjoyed that gift. I hope we get to use it, you know. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Temple City Unified School District Sandy Dusong. As Sandy alluded to earlier in her equity and diversity presentation, and also by our other board members earlier, February is African American History Month, and it is just wonderful to see one of your slides earlier that the African American history and diversity is being covered in our schools. Also, happy Lunar New Year. It is the year of the ox, and as Member Sneed said earlier, she's a history buff. We could test you, what year is it in China, the year of the ox? I did a Google search earlier. It is the year 4718. Oh my God. Okay, for anybody who's interested in history, that's a lot of history. For math people, how many years of the ox has that been, right? If there's 12 zodiacs cycles. That would be a good math question for our kids, fourth grade kids, right? So let me speak some Chinese. 新年快乐，万事如意，健康平安, and basically that means Happy New Year in Chinese. Also, thank you, Maria Garner, Melanie McShane, our site PTA leaders and Reflections judges. Congratulations to the artists in this year's PTA Reflections program. Also, congratulations to Hannah. And finally, thank you to all site administrators and Superintendent Fricker for your excellent communications, as always, to keep us and the community updated. And that is all for me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mike. And with that, you know what? I saw that Nicole has joined us. I failed to mention that, but welcome, Nicole. And we're on to student board member comments. So what do you have for us to share?
So since you guys were so interested in our Discord, I was actually hoping to share my screen and show you how it works and all the channels and everything. So go ahead and ask any questions while I'm sharing, and I hope this will help you guys understand it better. Can you guys see it?
It's coming up.
All right, let me know when you see it.
It's there.
Okay, so basically, as you can you guys see my cursor?
Yes.
So these channels on the sides are used as voice channels. So students can join different ones for their different committees. So as mentioned in our previous presentation, there are different committees in our ASB. So after we're done meeting with the whole class, we would come and then join all these different voice channels for all the different committees so we can all join there and work together. So this here is the basic chat where we all inform each other of anything that's going on, or we ask for help. And just to make it feel like home, we have Mr. Kid's office over here and Miss Blank's room over here, as well as our snack bar and table. So we use this pretty much every class period to get all of our work done. So while we're in our committee voice channels, whenever we need someone else, we would just join a different voice channel. So usually I would be in execs, and sometimes we would need help from public relations. So I would just go ahead and join them, and then they would come join me back in the exec call. And it's just very convenient for all of us, and it's been very productive. So as this is our ASB Discord channel, we actually have one for a TCHS server where all the students have access to it. And here you can see that students always come to ask questions about certain things or for their clubs. And there's also different channels here. And if you see on the right over here, you can see all the people that are actually currently active on our channel. So here it says that there's currently 258 students online on our channel currently. And in total, I know it also shows who's offline to see just like who's involved with their channel and seeing how many people are actually on here. If I can get there, give me a second. And there's 528 students that are offline. So there's a big part of our student body that comes onto this platform. And we've had a few events, or ASB events, where we would host video games that we could play together or any sort of that type of thing. And I found myself meeting people that I've never talked to before, and it just really brought us so much closer together. And I think making this Discord server has been so helpful to help all of the students connect together during this distance learning. And that's basically it. Do you guys have any questions about this?
I just want to say this is great. I see there's a Mr. Sleep Deprived as a user right there to the right. Now, Nicole, maybe you don't know the answer. Maybe best not to answer this. I see Mr. Lohman still here. Is the robot that Noah said earlier, is that robot, is the name of the robot COPA or SIPA? I'm just kidding. COPA is the Children's Online Privacy Act, and SIPA is the Child Internet Protection Act.
I see. I think that has helped a lot as well, because a lot of people like to joke around and sometimes it just goes too far. So programming that robot has helped our regulations so that our ASB members don't have to constantly check on like the activity that's going on in here.
And we do have certificated teachers, somebody to monitor this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That is the COPA and the SIPA.
Yeah. Whenever there's like club meetings or anything, there's always at least one advisor there to keep watch.
Awesome. Okay. That answers my question.
Any other questions for Nicole? Great report. Thank you very much. And thanks for sharing. With that, we are on to the superintendent's comments. Dr. Kimberly Fricker. Kim, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Mr. Smith. So I was so impressed with our joint meeting with the ASB. It is so nice to see our students and their faces and interact with them. Teachers go through withdrawal, administrators go through withdrawal too. So we not only from our staff, it's so nice to see our staff, but it's also so nice to see our students and what they're up to. I did see War of the Worlds. I have to say, I was wondering how in the world are you going to have a performance digitally? And I don't know if I couldn't wrap my head around it, and I was talking to Mr. Lohman and back and forth with the teacher. I was absolutely impressed with the performance. I only saw the one troop, but I was very, very impressed with the performance. So my hat off to everybody who is kind of reinventing what they do and reinventing their genre into this digital space that we now all kind of find ourselves in. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Mike Kidd, for all that you do with our ASB. And I just look forward to working with you and continuing that good work in all the clubs that we have for our students. I do want to thank Kyla Yurtstead, Robin and Art for just coming together and with our district team and working on those MOUs to make sure that when we can take care of our staff and make sure that they're protected and safe. And then also, we can put in measures that oftentimes don't need to be solidified in a document, but it's very, very easy in normal conversations. And we seem to be on the same page at the start of the conversation instead of at the end. We still stay on the same page. So it's really, really a nice partnership with all of you. And I just want to acknowledge that. As superintendents, we have gotten together quite often. One big conversation that keeps coming up is graduation. LACO is going to host a meeting with the superintendents in LA County just to go through what our tentative plans for graduation would be and what parameters we're going to have to stay within. So we haven't been given those parameters yet. We're all kind of clamoring at the bit because we know we want to put those plans together. So they're hosting a meeting next Thursday, and so we should have some good parameters for what we can and cannot do. So Mr. Kidd and Mr. Lohman, we will be talking after that so we can start those plans moving forward. I know that's really important for our seniors who have had a disrupted year last year and then have had an alternate version of a year this year. We do want to make that celebration really important and really special for you and your families, and we will do all that we can do to make sure that happens. So more information to come down the line. With the superintendent's task force, we are meeting and have met to discuss how to start layering in after the closure is starting to subside. The numbers are coming down. How are we going to start getting people back on campus and kind of lifting those restrictions, so to speak. So what we're doing now is really focusing on learning loss and providing students with intervention. There's a presentation that you, the board, and the community will see a little bit later on, a suggestion to offer students help and assistance in tutoring to address that learning loss and prevent further learning loss to come. So that's hopefully coming down the line. We also are looking at inviting our staff members, those staff members who want to come back to campus or need to come back to their campuses. We are working with our union leadership to make sure that in the coming weeks they will be able to come back on campus. There is still restrictions in terms of the percentage of people who are allowed on campus, but as that opens up, we surely want to get people who need to be on campus back on those campuses. And then we will look at bringing in small intervention groups by March. And so those students who are struggling with attendance and those students who are struggling with the digital environment, grades, or even social emotionally, we want to make sure that we can bring them on in small, safe cohorts of students. And then those students, who need specialized services, we want to restart that back at our campus. We did have a special education clinic that was offered at Emperor, so we want to look at bringing that back on. So as we make those plans, we will let you, the community, know which groups will have access when. We are working with principals to make sure that the messaging that goes out is very clear, concise, and it is very specific to, we adhere to what the Department of Public Health is telling us, but we also want to make sure that we're kind of moving in that direction and servicing the needs of our students, but also servicing the needs of our staff. It's very important to us. And with that, the last bit of news is with regard to the vaccines. I know that Pasadena has their own Department of Health, and so they have a smaller per capita area that they service other than LA County. And so you may be hearing some rumblings that Pasadena is opening up or having additional scheduling for people getting vaccines in that area. We have not gotten the green light yet from LA County Department of Public Health. So as soon as we can and will, we will definitely make sure that our staff be in line for the vaccines as soon as possible. And we are currently working on securing a partnership with an agency that will be providing vaccines so that our people will have the ability to go to a couple different places to try to schedule those vaccines as quickly as possible. The biggest problem with the vaccines is just the shortage of them. Everyone's vying for a given amount of vaccines, and there just isn't enough to go around. I think that the infrastructure is set up for people to go to places. It's just that there aren't the vaccines there to service all the people who need to get the vaccines and in the order that they need to get them. So we're just kind of waiting on the supply to come in, and then that should open up the channel, and the stages will go through so that we can eventually get our turn to be vaccinated as well. So we are working on a joint communication between us and our union leadership to make sure that our staff is well aware of how and what they will need to present in order to get their vaccines when they do become available. And they will have the agencies listed as to where they can go or get their vaccine scheduled. So that's all forthcoming. And then that is the end of my report.
Great, thank you, Kim. Okay, with that, we're moving on to item 18, which is written communications. I have none. Does anybody have any written communications that they'd like to share? No? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the discussion information portion of our agenda, starting first with business services. Item 19, an update on the shade structure project from Marianne Sorrell and LPA.
Good evening. David Eves and Jim Kissel are joining us tonight from LPA to give an update on the shade structure project. And then immediately following that, they will be giving us an update on the facility master plan. David, are you with us?
I am. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Thank you,
evening.
Marianne. Let me go ahead and try and share my screen here. Let's see. Let's do that. Okay, can you all see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, good evening, members of the board, Dr. Fricker, Marianne, it's good to see you all again. Jim was not joining me tonight. It's just me, Dave. As Marianne said, what we wanted to do was give you an update on the shade structure projects. In the context of, I think the last time the board saw the various concepts for the size, locations, et cetera, of the shade structure units on each campus was probably sometime back in maybe August or September, perhaps even October. And since we've been working on trying to get DSA approval, there have been some revisions to locations and sizes and things like that. So we wanted to bring you up to speed on where we're at in the process. And then after the shade structure presentation, we'll shift gears and we'll give you an update on the facilities master plan. Okay, so we'll start with Cloverly Elementary School. The scope here is 5 shade structures. Through the course of DSA processing, we've had to add some roof-mounted lighting to serve the path of travel. We have some minor accessibility improvements in the walkway area. And right now we're awaiting local fire authority approval, and then we'll be resubmitting plans to DSA. And a couple of items to note here is this shade structure along the north building we had to remove. We had trouble due to the configuration of the existing building and its proximity to the adjacent NPR building. We were having challenges justifying the area. And so we met with the site principal and Marianne and Anthony Alfano, and the decision was made to remove those. The option that was presented was to shift those into the middle of the courtyard. And that was deemed to be not preferred. I think that they wanted to make sure that that shade could be against the building and not interfere with the grass area. So that one is going to be removed from the scope. And this other large one here in the courtyard has been reduced in size a little bit from when you saw it earlier. And that's, again, in order to maintain proper separation distance from the adjacent buildings, we've had to reduce that in size. But otherwise, the balance of the structures here in this campus are moving forward. At Emperor Elementary School, we were proposing 6 shade structures. Again, we're having to add some roof-mounted lighting for the path of travel. And this one is also in the same state. We're awaiting some local fire authority approval, and then we'll be resubmitting the plans to DSA. So this one's moving along, and there were no changes to this campus layout. At La Rosa, we're proposing 8 shade structures. Again, we've had to add some roof-mounted lighting, and there were some minor accessibility improvements here as well for the walkway. And this one is in the same situation. We have some local fire authority approval to get, and then we'll be resubmitting plans to DSA. Otherwise, no significant changes to the structures here on this campus.
I actually count 9.
4, 6, 8. You're correct. There are 9. I will correct that. I apologize. At Longdon Elementary School, we're proposing 7 shade structures. There's the 5 out in the kind of the general playground area, and then there's the 2 over by the kindergarten building. And then in this on this campus, we're adding some lighting as well, both roof mounted and on the site for path of travel. And then there's also some additional minor accessibility improvements along walkways. This one we just found out today is DSA approved. So we received our approval of plans letter from DSA today. So that's all really good news. This one can proceed forward with the commencement of the fabrication of the shade structures. And then I believe the expectation is when we get the balance of the plans approved with DSA, that all of these plans would then be sent out to bid to get a contractor on board in order to do some of the other work, the prep work for the shade structures, as well as the lighting and some of the other accessibility improvements that we're discussing. Oak Intermediate, 1 shade structure in the main little courtyard there. And this one, again, we're having to add some roof-mounted lighting and some minor accessibility improvements in restrooms and the walkway area that serves this particular area of the campus. And this one we're planning to resubmit to DSA this week. So this one is moving along, and we would expect to have DSA approval just within another week or two. And finally, at Temple City High School and the Doug Sears Learning Center that's on the Temple City campus, 7 shade structures. We are adding roof-mounted lighting for path of travel, and there are some minor accessibility improvements here as well, including restroom signage and path of travel improvements. And this one, like Longden, we found out today that it is also DSA approved. We received the DSA plan approval letter today. So that's also fantastic news as well. One change to note here from the original concepts that were provided to us, and I believe were shown to you all by USA Shade, the vendor, the shade structures that were proposed down here between the new classroom building and the library, those could not be located there, so they've been removed from the scope. That swath of concrete is part of the fire access lane that serves both the library and the new classroom building. So there was no way to accommodate the shade structures in that location. And that's the only change on this campus. Okay. Any other questions on the shade structures?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, great. If not, then I'll shift gears. Let me open up the facilities master plan presentation. Okay. So I think the last time we came before the board was back in, was it October? Or no, I'm sorry, December. I think we gave an overview of the master plan. Our intention here today is just kind of give you a status update of where we are. So we're a couple months into the process. So we'll be giving you a schedule update. We'll focus a little bit on the work that's been completed to date. And then we're going to talk a lot about what the next steps are. So this is our schedule. This has been updated from the last time you all saw this.
Well,
and
I'm looking at a screen that says questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me stop sharing and then reshare. Maybe that'll fix the issue here.
There you go.
Okay, how's that?
Perfect.
Great. So you see a schedule slide?
Yes.
Excellent. So this is our schedule. We've updated this from our last presentation. Where we're at today is this kind of yellow dashed bar here. We're early in February. We've completed the data gathering process, including the collection of data from the district, as well as principal interviews. And I'll share in a moment a little bit about what we learned from the principal interviews. And you'll see here that there's a lot of overlapping bars and there's a lot of squares out there in the future for upcoming meetings. So really where we are here in the schedule is we're into the visioning portion of our process. And we have a lot of meetings to schedule. And we'll then, after we get some of those meetings calendared and we're able to meet with some of the focus groups and other committees, that we'll actually be starting some of the heavy lifting of preparing the master plan, including the visioning charrette and developing the education specs, and then the development of the site master plan concept diagrams, just to name a couple of things that are upcoming. And I'll touch on these again a little bit later in the presentation. Let's see here. There we go. So I want to touch base a little bit on the work that's been completed. So I mentioned we've completed the principal interviews, and what I thought I'd share with you is some of the information we gathered from those principal interviews in terms of the principals' priorities for improvements on their campuses. So at Cloverly, Principal Ito was looking to upgrade classroom technology, including interactive whiteboards, improve accessibility and parking, and provide space for science labs, as well as provide space for a makerspace. At La Rose Elementary, Mr. Rose is looking to provide a comprehensive kitchen update. You know, equipment and the building are very outdated and need replacement and renovation. Add storage to the main office and nurse's office, and add more security cameras. At Emperor, Myra Rudell would like to increase storage and update technology in the two-story building, add a door in the nurse's office for direct exterior access, and focus on playground updates. And then at Longden, Mr. Holmes would like to add more covered eating areas. And you saw, obviously, we're adding some of the shade structures, which will help with part of that solution. Add an electronic marquee and address parking concerns. At Oak Avenue Intermediate, Susan Hemans would like to add a new building for science and special ed, provide performing arts spaces, and a new gym. At the Doug Sears Learning Center on the high school campus, create space and provide appropriate learning equipment for the Certified Nursing Assistant Program and Pharmacy Technician Program. Find or create space for adult programs during the day that do not interfere with the high school site, and create space for the culinary program. And at Temple City High, Mr. Lohman would like to update the stadium and the track, provide areas to display work and storage for classrooms, support spaces, performing arts and athletics, and overhaul the 601 building stage area. So this just gives you an idea of sort of the spectrum of input that we've received from the principals and where their priorities lie within their campuses. And sort of what we're doing in terms of next steps is we're collecting a lot of other information from many other perspectives, right? So we're going to be meeting with focus groups. We'll get some perspective from district staff and leaders. We're going to be meeting with maintenance and operations folks and getting their perspective in terms of repairs and other maintenance and operations related improvements on the campuses. So the work that we're going to be doing here over the next few weeks is really conducting many, many meetings and collecting all that information in order to create a well-rounded picture of all of the district's needs. And then we'll be compiling that information and presenting that information to the board. So that kind of jumps us into what we're going to be doing in terms of next steps. So where we're currently at in progress in coordinating with the district in collecting demographics information. Site walks were actually performed today with Anthony Alfano and our team. And then we'll be conducting interviews with the M&O team, as I mentioned. Marianne's working on a district letter that invites community members and staff to participate in the facilities master plan committee, and we are coordinating with Marianne on that. And then the district's working on union leadership, working with union leadership to coordinate school site committee membership and participation. So again, we're looking at forming these larger committees, both the facilities master plan committee, which is made up of community members and many members across the district and community, and the school site committees, which are really focused at each campus and are focused on leadership and staff and teachers from the individual school sites. And then finally, the website is in development so the district can communicate transparently to the community. And we're coordinating with the district on collecting some preliminary information about the district's educational vision in order to populate that information on the website. So we're getting very close, I believe, once we collect some of that information to being able to launch the website. And that'll give us obviously a vehicle to be communicating to our community about what's happening. As I mentioned, we have lots of upcoming meetings. So we have focus groups with curriculum and instruction, alternative ed and adult school student services, technology, special ed coming up, food services, and before and after school programs. Those will actually be happening pretty quickly here, probably within the next week or two. School site committees, as I mentioned, those committees are being formed, and we would be beginning to meet with those committees later this month and into next month. The facilities master plan committee, that committee is also being formed. And because it's a very large committee, it does take a while to put that together. But we do have tentative dates targeted for those committee meetings here noted in March, in mid-April, and then towards the end of May. A town hall, we're looking to schedule as part of this communication process with the community, a town hall. And again, we're coordinating with the district on tentative dates. They're likely to be somewhere in those last couple of weeks of May, or April, excuse me. And then board meetings. We'll be coming back to you in March, very likely in May and in June. to keep you all informed and apprised of what's happening with the master plan. As I mentioned in March, our goal would be to present to you some of our initial findings in terms of the needs assessment and some preliminary recommendations. And then in May, it's more about looking at all of the concepts, master plan diagrams for all of the campuses, and talking about the total cost of those needs, and then starting to talk about prioritization of those needs. And then in June would be a final presentation wrapping everything up. So some upcoming activities, as I mentioned, visioning charrette, the educational specifications development, the site master plan concept diagrams, and cost analysis and prioritization. And obviously these activities, you know, we really need to get some of these meetings and committees formed and those calendared so that we can start to really make progress in terms of continuing to gather information from the various groups and committees. And I believe that's all I have. So if there are any questions on the master plan, I'd be happy to answer those.
Does anybody have any questions for David? It doesn't look like a nice presentation. It looks like things are coming along. So thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me tonight, and I look forward to meeting with you again very soon.
Great. Thanks, David. Okay, we're going to move on to item 21, which is a food service plan for weekend lunches. And I'm having a tough time wrapping my head around this one. We used to pray we could break even, but this is revenue positive. So Mary Ann, tell us more about it.
So this evening, I'd like to welcome our director, Marisol Cortez. She does an amazing job with food service with her team, and they've been at it this whole time while things are closed and serving our families. And so she's going to present to you her plan for offering weekend lunches to our families that need some extra food support. Marisol?
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Evening.
I'm going to be sharing my screen quickly. Okay. So good evening. I'm Marisol Cortez. I'm the Food Service Director for Temple City Unified School District. Thank you to the board, the superintendent, and the cabinet for your time tonight to present. So this fall 2021 semester, we have been offering grab and go lunches. We have 3 locations currently. We offer lunch pickup at 3 school sites, Emperor, Longden, and the high school. Our weekly schedule is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 11:30 in the morning to 2 p.m. We offer 2 meals on Mondays. The first lunch bag for Monday is a hot meal. The second lunch bag is a cold meal for Tuesday. Then we have our second pickup day, Wednesday, which is another hot meal on Wednesday. And the second bag is a cold meal for Thursday. And then Friday, we currently offer 1 meal for Friday, which is a hot meal. Each site is fully staffed. We have food service staff that prepare the meals every morning and serve in the afternoon. And we also have neonates assisting with traffic control. Our daily participation for the average meal served daily is 650 meals. Each site has, for Emperor, 175 meals, Longden 200, and the high school 275. The picture here is from Longden's drive-through pickup. As you can see, we have one of our staff handing out the lunches back to the parent picking up. So we are proposing Saturday and Sunday meals on the Friday pickup day. We'll continue to serve a hot meal for Friday, but we will be offering a second bag with the cold meal for Saturday, and for Sunday, a lunch kit. I'll go into more details next. To the right, there's a flyer that I have updated to offer the information for our new grab and go lunches for weekends. I'll be posting this online on our department website. And I also plan to distribute these flyers the week prior to the first Friday that we plan to serve, and then the 2 weeks after. So what is the process gonna look like? We have to have food orders 2 weeks in advance through our food vendors. So the picture here is what we plan to offer for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday will be a grilled cheese sandwich or peanut butter and jelly sandwich, depending on the availability by the vendor. We'll be offering the fresh fruit and produce. We'll offer carrots or celery or apples and milk, of course. So our Sunday meal will be a kit. So this comes pre-packaged from our vendor. There's different types of kits offered. I purchased this one called the Energy Go. It's some butter, sunflower seeds, crackers, raisins, and a fruit juice. This is a complete meal kit. So the plan is to prepare our hot meals on Fridays and also prepare the second lunch bag with both of these meals inside. We actually already tested this last week with our staff, so we know everything fits in one bag. Let's see. Next slide. So the benefits to serving weekend meals are as follows. The first benefit, which I think is the most important, and so do our staff, is that we'll be serving needy children. We believe most of the families that come pick up lunch are the most needy in our community. So having an extra meal on the weekend will help those parents and also any working parents. The second benefit will be increase of meals for 2 additional days. So for Emperor will be 350 meals, Longden 400 meals, the high school 550 meals. That will be a total of 1,300 meals a week. And this is just an estimate based on our current numbers that we serve. So the revenue increase. We plan to have an increase of revenue based on the extra 2 days that we will be providing, which will be a weekly revenue of $5,941. This will increase our revenue without increasing our expense in labor. Since we do have the current staff available and we have had the discussion with how we're going to be preparing these meals ahead of time, and we believe that we could actually provide the extra meals without increasing that labor cost. Our menu consists of the hot meals and the cold meals to drive the participation, and I believe that having those 2 extra meals on Friday will have more parents come by to pick up. Our staff looks forward to serving these extra meals because we are here to provide those nutrition meals for all those that are in need during this pandemic. Any questions?
Anybody? No, okay, thank you very much. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
With that, we're going to move on to item number 22. Oh, this is the area of Ed Services. And item 22 concerns a new course that's being considered. It's called Spanish Heritage. And my guess is that Brianna Cruz is going to be the real presenter here, right, Richard?
Brianna will be the real presenter. So Brianna Cruz is our department chair for world languages. So just a little my input on this one. I learned Spanish. I started learning Spanish in high school, 9th grade, kind of what Brianna teaches. And it was a horrible experience. Watching Ms. Cruz teach, though, is probably the most enlightening way to teach a foreign language ever. So if you guys ever get the opportunity, stop by, see her teach. But today she's going to talk to us about Heritage Spanish. Ms. Cruz, you're up.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everybody, for having me here tonight. I'm really excited to talk about this course and be able to offer it to our high school students in the coming years. Our hope is that we will be able to offer this opportunity to our students next year. So currently we offer at the high school Spanish 1, Spanish 2, Spanish 3, Spanish 4, and AP Spanish language. And typically a student will progress through our program in this order. However, we do have some students who will register for our Spanish 1 classes, even though they've been acquiring Spanish at home from a young age. So our imperfect system that we have in place right now is to automatically move these students into Spanish 2. Spanish 1 is much too easy for them because we're learning how to say hello and to count from 1 to 10. But Spanish 2 is also a really big jump, and it can be a shock to students. Spanish 2 is heavily focused on grammar. So for students who have never had formal practice with the language, it's a bit overwhelming to just jump into Spanish 2. So why do we need this class? Our native speakers risk disengagement due to boredom and not feeling challenged in their Spanish 1 classes that are too easy for them. And native speakers will often feel like they have to choose a different elective, but this hampers their development of formal academic Spanish. So the need stems from the fact that these students have not had any formal education with the language. They struggle to read and or write and their language is often not academic, even though they are able to understand and speak. So we need the class to cater to these students. We need a class that will challenge them to build upon the knowledge that they already have of the language. The benefits of this class will be for the whole child. The class will be designed for the native speaker. It will be designed to use the strengths of the native speaker, and it will empower students by celebrating the language and knowledge that they do have. And it will allow for these students to learn about their own culture and their identity through means of reading, writing, speaking, and listening in Spanish. This course is going to be designed for students who have been exposed to the language but have little to no formal education with Spanish. We will focus on strengthening oral and written language, academic vocabulary, and grammar through lessons on bilingual culture and identity. There is no need to purchase a new curriculum for this course. We have all the materials necessary for the year, and we will pull from what we already have. To offer this course was unanimously supported by the TCHS Senate. The Senate as a whole sees the need for this class and just want what's best for our students. We want to be able to offer as many equitable opportunities as possible to our students. They've also considered the California Edge, or Prop 58, which states that students in California should receive the highest quality education and access to innovative, research-based language programs to prepare them to become globally competitive. Our Spanish department, or our Spanish team, gave a survey out to our students, and we asked 3 simple questions. Do you have family members who speak Spanish at home? If so, can you understand when they speak Spanish to you? And if so, are you able to respond to them in Spanish? So you can see here that out of 517 students who took this class, 144 of those students have Spanish-speaking family at home. 102 of those students are able to understand what is being said to them. And 60 of our students that are currently in our program are able to respond in Spanish. So these are really big numbers that we're seeing at our school. If we break it down and look just at the Spanish 1 numbers, we can see that a total of 56 students would have benefited or could have benefited from this class in the 2020-2021 academic school year. This number comes from combining the number of students that can understand and those that can respond in Spanish. Both levels of the language would be considered a heritage learner. And we do anticipate that this number will remain steady each year based on our shifting demographics and our Hispanic population. So just as we offer the Chinese for Heritage Learners course at our class, we want equitable access for this population as well. And when we do, if we do add this course, it would not add any sections of Spanish. It would pull from the numbers that we already have. So you can see here, we have more than enough students that had already enrolled in Spanish 1 this year that could fill a Spanish for Heritage Learners class. So we would pull from the numbers that we already have enrolled in Spanish. Successful completion of this class would allow for students to move into Spanish 3 in the following year. It would essentially be like combining Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 together. And this is the same process that we follow for the program that we have for our Heritage Chinese speakers at our school as well. One added benefit of adding this course to our course offerings is that we have the ability, or it allows for future expansion of our AP course offerings. We currently do not offer AP Spanish literature, but if we had our freshmen enrolled in Spanish for Heritage Learners and then moved on to Spanish 3 the following year, they could take AP Spanish language and then AP Spanish literature in their senior year. So although that's a few years off, it's definitely something to look forward to. All right, well, thank you again for having me here tonight. I'm really excited to be able to offer this opportunity to our Hispanic population and just watch them thrive through it.
Thank you, Bree. Are there any questions or comments for Bree?
Yeah, the only question I had is if it paralleled the courses that, but you answered that with that second to the last slide, how it would work for our Spanish speaking students. You answered that question with that one slide, so thank you.
Of course.
Anybody else? I'll make one comment. Back in around 2007, 2008, somewhere in there, we were approached by a group of Chinese American parents who wanted us to offer Mandarin. And it was kind of controversial because everyone thought, well, we've got all these Asian kids who probably already speak it. Are they really learning anything? But what we found out was that most of the kids who were born here and learned Chinese as a kind of a second language couldn't conjugate, and they couldn't speak. This is out of my bailiwick here, but apparently Chinese is a language where the way you speak it progresses as you get older. So the other problem was the kids would speak as a child would speak because they didn't know all the. Anyway, long story short, we offered it, and right away people were very pleased. So I kind of see this maybe as something similar as what you're suggesting, and it makes a lot of sense to me.
I'll just make a real quick comment too, that I like the idea of challenging the students that already speak. And I can see very easily how someone who speaks would be very disengaged if they had to take Spanish 1. And I would be really excited if we could get to the point where we could offer AP Spanish literature, because I think that is fantastic.
Definitely.
Melissa, this one's near and dear to my heart as well. So my 2 younger children, they understand Spanish, and when my in-laws speak to them, my wife speaks to them, they'll answer in English. And so they fit the exact mold that Bree's talking about, that they will never comfortably speak Spanish nor read or write it unless we have a program that supports it. And so it's very near and dear to a lot of our families.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was that student, so I get it. Thank you.
So I guess you'll be bringing this back to us at some point for consideration. Very good. Thank you very much, Bree. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, oh, no, almost missed item 23. Item 23, which is a program called Paper, which is 24/7 live tutoring. And Hannah, you're down for this one?
Yes, I am. So in a late night search for something else, I came across this thing called Paper, and I saw it on my son's school's website. And then I started looking, and other districts had it, and I started, what is this thing? And I started looking into it, and I yelled out to my son, I'm like, we have free tutoring. We have 24/7 tutoring. We don't have to fight over science in the kitchen at 11 o'clock anymore. Like, there's somebody that can help us with this. So as I taught English, and my husband teaches government, so science is not a strong suit in our house. So I started looking into it, and then I reached out and asked for a quote, and I met this lovely gentleman, Terrence here, who volunteered to come do a presentation to you because he's going to do a much better job than I can. The company, he'll give you some background to it, but the company was started and created by a teacher, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's definitely helping schools during the pandemic. I did learn that our local neighbors, La Cañada, beat us to it. They are already offering it to their families, and some other local schools are starting to do it. So I knew that would, make us all even more interested. If everybody around us is doing it, we don't want to be the only ones left out. Why aren't we doing it? So we did a great presentation. Terrence was kind enough to come join our TCA union leadership and did a quick presentation for them just to make sure that this is something that they thought their members would enjoy and appreciate. And so with that, I will let him show you the 24/7, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week tutoring service that they offer.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah, for the introduction. Again, I am Terrence. I'm a partnership manager here with Paper. I handle the whole West Coast for the most part. And if I'm able to, if I can share my screen, that would be great. But before I jump into it, I do want to say that at Paper, we do take a lot of pride in forming meaningful, impactful partnerships with districts. And that all starts with the foundation of building strong relationships. And I will say the energy that I've personally felt tonight in this board meeting has been nothing short but of amazing. With that being said, in true TC fashion, I just want to give a shout out to Ms. Dusong. You did a phenomenal job in your presentation. So I had to deliver it, man. You know, so let me jump into my presentation for you guys. Give me 1 sec to pull that up here. Okay, great. So we are Paper Education. We are the Paper Education Company, the leading educational support system, or ESS for short. All right. As Hannah stated, we were founded and created by a teacher, right? With the mission here. Let me click there. There we go. With our mission, right, which is our mission is that's to deliver educational equity through personalized learning, right? A level playing field for all students. Something that we spoke about this evening, or that I heard spoken about this evening. But the idea here is that with Paper, students will receive instant and unlimited 24/7 tutoring support through chat in English, French, and Spanish, all right? And yes, you heard me correct. That's 24/7 around the clock. It doesn't matter what time the student logs into the platform and requests his help. Within 23 seconds, a live educator will reach out to that student to assist them with any assistance that they need, all right? We also have annotated essay review within 24 hours. That means that a student can submit any piece of written work, and within 24 hours, they receive back an annotated copy like a Google Doc that you would write on, right? And it shows them areas of which they can improve. It's accessible on any device. We are in the iOS store and the Android store, all right? And then all interactions are recorded and transparent to the school district. So what that means is that every single tutoring session that a student has for their records, they can always look back and review that section, right? So if they were practicing factoring trinomials, they can always review that when it comes time for exams. When it comes to the teachers, this gives the teachers a better insight into the student's learning. Right now, in this era that we're in, right, it's really hard to know whether or not the student is struggling because we just can't see them, okay? With our platform, you're able to go in and review every single tutoring session that your students have. So if I am struggling with factoring trinomials, you don't have to ask me, you already know as a teacher, right? As well, the sessions can be exported and shared with parents, let them know, hey, this is what I've been working on with your child, as well as they're doing tutoring sessions with this as well. Or this was a great session that your child had with a paper tutor, something that we're offering free. Make sure they continue to use it, right? You can also do that with our platform. When it comes to our educator, I do like to make sure that I express this. All of our educators are hired paper employees. We do not follow the Uber model or any other contracting model. We hire our employers so that we can pretty much control the quality of teaching, right? But as well as guarantee that 24/7 support around the clock. They are trained in the Socratic teaching principles. Therefore, they're there to more coach and guide the students through these little learning wins. They're not here to give students any answers at all. And then all of our educators, again, are paper employees and not freelancers, okay? When it comes to our technology, we integrate directly into your current ecosystem, all right? So automatic class rostering through our student or through your student information support system, Clever and Google single sign-on. So if you have Google accounts, we just use that and create the accounts. School-specific course names and codes, student data privacy compliant. We are CSDPA compliant. And then again, no new passwords are necessary at all for the district, all right? And then I've listed some of our existing partners, some in Cali that you guys may know, but we are partnered with Santa Ana Unified School District, Riverside Unified School District, Valverde Unified, Compton Unified School District, and as Hannah did note, we are partnered with La Cañada Unified School District as well. And then I thought this was pretty neat to add in. So this is a nice statement by Superintendent Michael R. McCormick from Valverde. So he said, enabling all students to have access 24/7 to tutoring extends our ability to ensure more equitable access to learning, no matter the time or place of day. And this couldn't be more true, right? And then finally, right? So when I met with the teachers union, this is the tweet that I was speaking about. So this was delivered by Dr. Ryan Smith from Paramount Unified, all right? And so he said papers learning, and a lot of teachers and a lot of parents, they were asking, hey, what are the results from your first month, all right? So this is their first month results. And he said paper learning is partnering with us to provide live virtual tutoring and essay review 24/7 for a month now, right? So the usage was 2,300 students helped, 4,100 tutoring sessions, 1,500 essay reviews, 560 weekend sessions. That's amazing, right? And then to me, the most important was this. 2,017 sessions outside of normal school hours, right? The reason was that why this was important to me was because right now our teachers have been working around the clock. They have a lot of students that they have to tend to and manage to, but then they also have the parents. So I often state how paper is a phenomenal platform for the students, right? A great resource for them to be able to get that support, but it's also support for the parents to be able to support the students at home, right? But then for the teachers, all right, paper gives teachers that insurance in knowing, hey, my students still have access to tutoring, right, and additional academic support beyond operating hours, and then they can cut off their teacher switch and then focus on their families at home, right? I have families, I have little kids that are running around this house right now downstairs doing whatever. If I was a teacher, it would give me great pride to know that, hey, once I cut the teacher switch off, I know that my students still have that support. I know that the parents still have that support. And I know that when I log into my computer in the morning, I won't see emails about homework. All right. So that is the paper platform. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot them out and I'll be more than happy to answer.
Are there any questions or comments?
Right. Terrence, will you just touch on our Mandarin speaking population? Because I know that you don't have it listed there, but I just wanted you to share with that because we do have a large population that's speaking.
Yes, great. So we do offer support in Mandarin as well. Now it is not 24/7, all right? However, it is spot-based support based on your needs. So all you would have to do is address that to us. We've done it with Huntington Beach Unified, and we have a few other districts as well. I believe La Cañada also mentioned the Mandarin support as well, and we do offer that. It's just not at this time 24/7, but we do work with our partnering districts to make sure we can provide that support when needed.
Great, thank you. Any other comments or questions for Hannah or Terrence?
Just a comment. I happened to use the link that was provided to meet some of the teachers for paper, and I can't tell you how many times this would have come in handy for me and my kids. So I really think it's a great service, and I appreciate your presentation today.
Melissa, thank you for that.
Anna, did you say you have talked to the unions about this?
Yes, we did a presentation for Kyla and Christy, our union, the TCA president and vice president, and wanted to make sure that they'd be on board with it. And he was able to show them the teacher side of it as well, which gives the teachers a dashboard. When they log in, they can see how many students were, oh, wow, problem number 8. A lot of my students need help with that. So they can start the day like reviewing that right away. And then also we talked about the papers, because I was nervous as an English teacher. I know what my former English teachers might be concerned about. And they really just use that Socratic method of just guiding questions. And Kyla herself sort of shared that that's hard, especially in distance learning, because you don't have that hands-on time in like a writer's workshop or anything with students. So it's nice to have somebody that can help with the first revision, and then you can help direct your students from there. So they had a lot of positive things to say about it.
Were most of the students that you showed in that one slide, is it mostly secondary students, or were you getting students from all levels? Like,
so we're actually, great question. We are getting students from all levels, K through 12. So it's really up to the district as far as where they would want to come in. You can always add in more licenses. We've seen them start as low as K through 12, like Compton Unified, and some come in 3 through 12, right? It's really based on your needs that you see for your district at that time. And then again, you can always add in more student licenses.
And at this time, we're looking and proposing to go for grades 3 through 12.
There's no charge for the parents? It would be something that the district is picking up the cost for?
Yeah, and we're looking at using our CARES Act funding, our one-time money that we're getting, to try to extend that agreement so that we can get up when running with a service like this. I think with a service like this, I compare it to something like Care Solis that we use. Like once you start it, it's going to be hard to ever take it away from our family. So we're going to want to make sure it's something that we can really commit to and have it be sustainable.
You mentioned in the written document, you're looking at the two choices would be 27 months or 39 months. But if you use the CARES Act funding, they're only going to provide a portion of that, right? We'd have to come up with the money somewhere else.
Well, not for the first licensing, we should be able to. And I don't know, Marianne, if you want to jump into this, but we are getting additional funding. So we do believe the additional funding would help us cover. And that's sort of why I'm proposing to go for maybe a lengthier contract so that we can use that one-time funding, get it up, give us, time to plan on how we include that into our budget. Okay.
Thank you.
The additional funding will be the SR2 money. So that will absolutely cover this.
Okay, wonderful.
And it will cover, because we are focused on reducing that learning loss. And we know that that's a huge push from the governor and Thurmond, who want districts to provide different interventions or mechanisms that are going to address the learning loss and kind of help students prevent that loss from happening.
Okay. So it sounds like you'll be coming back with some action on that as well.
Yes, we'll see you next board meeting. Thank you, Terrence.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on to the discussion action portion of our agenda, starting first with administration, item 24, which calls for a motion to receive board policies for first reading. And I want to thank you very much for providing the cheat sheet, one-page summary of all these board policies. Which I'm assuming we all read. Is there other comments you want to make? I guess it'd be Mary Ann and Hannah.
Only if there are any questions about this particular board policy. Currently, we are part of a JPA, a Joint Powers Authority, for our property and liability, as well as our workers' comp insurance. And so as part of that JPA, we do go out each year to the marketplace to get pricing on insurance. And we do enjoy a nice benefit because we're in a pool with multiple other districts, depending which insurance it is.
Are there any comments or questions from other board members? No? Okay, I'll go ahead and call for a motion in a second. If you could raise your hands and then we'll take the vote. I see a motion from member Georgino and a second from member Lynn. And this requires a roll call vote, starting first with a preferential vote from student member Lee. Nicole?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, member Espinosa,
Yes.
member Sneed,
Yes.
Member Lynn,
Yes.
member Georgino,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. So that motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 25, it calls for a motion to receive and approve, for second reading and approve the board policies we discussed at our last meeting. And before I call for the motion in the second, I'm going to, I believe there were no changes made, so I don't think there's a need for much discussion on this at all, but I'll let you be the judge. So may I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll motion.
And a motion from a member Espinosa and a second from member Sneed. Are there any comments or questions? Good. I'll go ahead and call for the vote. Student board member Lee?
Yes.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
Member Georgino?
Yes.
Member Espinosa?
Yes.
I'm a yes, and member Lynn?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 26, which falls under personnel. It calls for a motion to approve the revised memorandum of understanding with TCEA. I may have a motion and a second, and then we'll discuss it if anybody wants to ask questions. Motion and a second. Motion from member Georgino and a second from member Espinosa. Are there comments or questions on this?
I'm happy to give you just a little background. The reason for the MOUs is just an update and a revision. The federal funding, the FFCRA, I can't remember what it all stands for, but basically it was given to us right for the beginning of COVID, and it exited out and it ended at the end of December. And so we thought it was really important that we look out for our employees because the pandemic's certainly not ending, though the funding for some of it is. So we were hoping to be able to offer our employees some support when and if they are needing to be quarantined or isolated. So in that MOU, we worked with our unions to be able to offer some documented language that really kept the FFCRA and then even a little bit more to help protect for those incidents, because not everybody's over it in 10 days. Some people need longer time. So we did put some language in there to protect our employees and make sure that we're keeping everybody safe and not encouraging people to come to work when they're not feeling well.
Great, thank you, Hannah. Any other comments or questions for Hannah? I think I might have had one myself. The only question I had is I noticed that under, strike it. Questions for items 27 and 28, so never mind. So I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Help me out here, Marie. Did I got the motion second from Donna and Melissa? Okay, got it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Member Espinosa?
Yes.
Member Georgino?
Yes.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Member Sneed.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion carries 5-0, unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 27. It's basically a motion to approve the MOUs with CSEA 105. May I have a motion and a second to approve, please?
I move.
Member Sneed for the motion, and I second from Member Georgino. Any comments or questions on this? I just had one. I noticed that under the TCEA, there was I think it was item number 5, which talked about technology and training. And I've made the assumption all along that when we went to one-to-one computing, that it probably included some additional technology for the CSEA units as well. And I don't see any mention of technology and support. Is that something that we might need, or do you think not, or am I way off base?
No, you're not way off base at all. I think it was one of the difficulties in starting up, and we did do some meetings and some training, but in the practicality of the distance learning, and not all of our classified employees have district issued devices as well. So it became a little bit more difficult to organize the training, though we have pushed some things out. We have, when we opened up Canvas, we had some sessions and things like that, but it wasn't brought up as an item in the MOU.
Okay. I'm open to that if it's needed. So that's just my opinion. Okay. Any other comments? Uh-oh. There goes my machine. Hold on. My screen just went blank. No.
We see you.
Yeah, we see you, Matt.
I know, but I can't see you. Oh, well.
Now we're going to have to do voice votes.
There we go. You're back.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. Member Espinosa?
Yes.
Member Georgino?
Yes.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. So the motion carries 5-0 and it's unanimous. Moving on to item 28, basically approving a revised MOU for CSEA 823. We have a motion and a second on this, please. Motion from Member Espinosa. Member Lynn for a second. Any comments or questions about item 28? Okay, hearing none, I'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Don't forget Nicole.
Oh, thank you very much. Student Board Member Nicole.
Yes.
Okay. I'll go ahead and vote yes. Member Espinosa?
Yes.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
Member Georgino?
Yes.
And Member Lynn?
Yes.
Okay, and that motion carries 5-0, plus the preferential vote. I should have mentioned that. Okay, moving on to the consent portion of our agenda, which includes routine items approved by one motion and one vote, unless a member of the board or audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda along with the second, please?
Yeah, I think I'd like to pull the minutes, please.
Okay, so you for a separate vote or separate or question?
I have something I think I'd like to correct.
Okay, I mean, we can vote on it all together, just pull it out for separate discussion.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, are you making a motion?
31.
Okay, so Donna, are you then going to make a motion for the consent agenda, and we'll have a question about that? Okay.
Sure.
And I have a second from someone?
Second.
Okay. So what's your question on item 31?
31 is, I was just wondering, what is the TCHS Performing Arts Center?
That's really not labeled very clearly. What it's really talking about is the music building that's just adjacent to the pool, where they have the rehearsals.
Music room and everything.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions about anything else on the consent agenda?
I have a.
Okay,
Go ahead. I do have one curiosity. It's the solar winds on page 1 of the payroll contracts. We didn't get hacked, did we? I don't know.
I'm sorry, Dr. Lin, can you tell me
Yeah,
the
Solar
item that
Winds,
you're looking?
number 7 on page 1. We have a contract to service agreement with Solar Winds Educational Technology. So our district didn't get compromised, right?
Oh,
Oh, this is a contract that was approved previously. So let me pull that up unless Hannah wants to answer that one. I'll need to pull the contract up for Solar Winds for tech.
Andy, do you want to add to that one? Is he there? There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. No, we didn't get hacked. That's just the way that tells us, how how we're doing with the internet.
Okay.
Yeah, it just tells us, especially since we moved to a new provider, it just helps us see how much of the 5 gigs we're using and what they're doing. We probably won't keep it for very long, but just for this first year, we thought it'd be a good idea to get a good look of how our new internet connections being used.
Okay, thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.
any other comments or questions on anything in the consent agenda, Donna?
Yeah, the minutes. On item 25, when we had that item last, at our last meeting, on the staff report, it said that there was a cost that was $2,600 a year. And apparently that was an error. And I just think the minutes should reflect that there was what the error was in the staff report. So if someone goes to look at it at some future time, they'll know that that was not correct, that there was no charge associated with that.
You said item 25?
Yeah. It was the COVID safety plan and safe schools grant. And in the staff report said there was a $2,600 charge per year, which when I asked about it, I was told, Marianne, you can jump in here if you want, but I was told that was an error. So I think the minutes should reflect that there is no charge, that was an error on the staff report.
Absolutely. I can help Marie with that to clean that language up.
I'll revise them and then I'll post them as revised
Okay.
and note it and put it in bold.
Okay. I believe that'll address Donna's issue.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for catching
Thank
that.
you.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Lee,
Yes.
member Espinoza,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Member Georgino,
Yes.
member Sneed,
Yes.
and member Lynn.
Yes.
The motion carries 5-0 with a preferential vote from Nicole. Taking a quick look at our items 34 and 35, board member comments, as well as future agenda items. We have several things scheduled. The joint meeting with the Personnel Commission is at our next meeting. We took care of the honorary service awards today. We have a couple more presentations.
No, that's next time.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
We had reflections.
Yeah, thank you very much. There were 2 items. Yeah, that was the second one. Okay. Anything else anybody would like to bring up for a future agenda item, or any comments you'd like to make?
I have one, Matt. I noticed that, it's great to have Nicole's voice as a student. There's usually when the person who makes who says the final yay, they get to hear what the other board members have said, right? So maybe the preferential vote should be the last one. This way Nicole could hear, what we have said, and this wouldn't put her on the spot.
So actually the language about student board members says that they should have the first vote.
Oh, I see. Okay. And I was just thinking, in a good situation, when Nicole says yeah, and everybody says yeah, but when it gets contentious, and then Nicole's on the spot, and she has to be the one to say yay or nay first, right? It puts her, in a difficult situation. I can only imagine a situation.
It's been a while since I read that. That's my understanding. Can somebody, Kim or Hannah or somebody, correct me if I'm wrong? Or
Well, I will definitely look into it and see if we need to adjust or change it. But yeah, we'll look into it.
Right. If it's in the bylaws, and maybe we can make it.
I looked at it last year and it is correct. And the idea is that she's supposed to be giving us input as a student. And we take that input and deliberate with it as to how we want to vote. So she's giving us input. We're not giving her input.
Okay.
And if she doesn't want to vote on something, she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Nicole, just know that when it gets uncomfortable, you can always abstain.
We won't glare at you. Okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and move forward to item 37, which calls for a motion to adjourn. May I have a motion in a second?
I would like to make the motion. I want to see you hit the gavel.
Oh, there you go. I saw a motion from member Lynn and a second. I saw Melissa's hand go up. So I'll go ahead and call for the vote. Preferential vote for student member Lee.
Yes.
Member Espinosa.
Yes.
Member Georgino.
Yes.
Member Sneed.
Yes.
Member Lynn.
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Good job, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Awesome,
Matt.
Matt. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Good night,
Good night.
guys.
Thank you.
Good night, you guys.